Viktor, I want to ask you the similar question that as a researcher, for example, when you see that a lot of things are politicized, they're saying that if China is cooperating with Hungary, it's because China wants to export its political model, for example. Is that bothering you sometimes, or you think it's something justified?
Previously, I mentioned that in the EU, we should not overestimate China. But at the same time, I would say we should not underestimate the European Union. This is not an easy market. So for the Chinese companies who want to enter, have to follow several regulations, have to follow strict standards. So I believe in the strength of these rules and regulations. So therefore, this can channel the behavior of China in a very successful way. So we should not fear due to China. Of course, in the trans-regional cooperation, that's another issue. I don't think that EU have the position to one-sided decide the rules of the game. So we have to negotiate with this in China. But with the investments which are coming into the EU, I think there's not too much to fear about, because we have strong and strict regulations, and just we have to follow this. So yeah, I would agree. In many cases, these are over-politicized.
And what is your point, George? Because actually, I just remember the fears and the furious reactions when China has done this acquisition of Pirée's port. So do you think this kind of thing can be separated, like China's influence? You know, China has already buy a port at the gate of Europe, so it's like a symbol that China's influence is now in Europe. So what do you think of that? Do you think they are separable, or?
Well, thank you very much for your question. It's a very important question that gives me the opportunity to clarify the situation about this investment. What happened in Greece was that the country, due to its bailout obligations, had to sell the majority stake of the Pirée Port Authority in 2016. So a transparent tender was organized, and a Chinese company, COSCO, was the only bidder, and therefore the company managed to acquire the majority stake of the port for a period of several decades. So on the basis of transparency, on the basis of preserving the European rules, the Chinese company was there in very difficult times for the Greek economy. So I don't see why anyone would criticize this development. From the moment in the final account, it was not Greece's choice to sell the port. It was a demand from Greece's creditors in order for the privatizations to continue in the country in line with the bailout obligations of Greece. So from this moment, I believe that we need to have a holistic picture of the situation, and privatizations are continuing in Greece, and not only Chinese companies are taking part. So by having this holistic picture, we can understand that it's not only China which is investing in Greece. So by placing this investment into a wide context, the situation becomes much clearer.
And Marsela, I want to ask you, because you have done a paper on the political perception of the 17+1, and I know that you are working on another paper just to research it on economic terms. So what are your understanding of the political term and economic term of the 17+1 cooperation?
Well, for as far as we go in 2020, Chinese involvement in Albania is purely in economic terms. In fact, I want to proceed in the point that my colleague was making before about Greece. The two major mergers and acquisitions from two Chinese companies in Albania, as I mentioned before, the airport and the oil fields, are China Everbright Limited and Geojade Petroleum. Basically, these two companies in 4 years have outperformed by 20 and 30% their predecessors. These two major investments of China in Albania are by no way linked to any political condition. And also because of that, every Chinese official declaration that has come into Albania has two major points. Firstly, knowing the reality of the country is that China firmly supports Albanian path to the European Union. And secondly, is one very important phrase from the Chinese ambassador to Albania last year, is that China is not interested in playing geopolitical games in the Balkans.